to that brilliant yellow pale. It is one of my favorite colors. It is just so good. Like just having that bit of yellow the uh, in the paint, it means that I can use it almost straight up to do highlights where I could never really do this with just a titanium white. Um, I was experimenting a little bit. I got to test a couple of colors from Holbein, and they have one that's called Ivory White. That is pretty much is more white than even the brilliant yellow pale. But it's still off white. So I would have been curious to see how doing highlights with that would have been, but I only had time to just do a quick swatch with it, and I didn't have time to actually put it on a miniature because it was just like a test that I had to give back. But I might actually try and grab that at some point. At the moment, I am pretty happy with my amount of paints. I know that Doji is probably going to be listening to the highlight, the recording. I know that a certain Doji is going to start making suggestion about a certain teal color that costs like an apartment in central Tokyo, but eventually we're gonna get a couple of interesting colors. But one thing that one of you guys reminded me of that I completely forgotten about is that I still have that damn Yinming blue pigment that we should try. And right now I don't have time to be mixing pigments, but um years ago for my birthday, I bought this super expensive blue pigment that at the time they had just, I don't know, they had just discovered. It's supposed to be this like very intense new blue that they found out about, and it's very expensive. And I bought a little bit of pigment to thinking that we could try it on stream, and then never got around to doing it. So Yinmin Blue streams should also come. Um, oh, that's great, Ralph More TV. I did implement a different program for um the noise reduction on the microphone. I'm using like the NVIDIA whatever it's called. So I think the sound is a little better. So I'm glad. But I know that the sound of the voice itself is not the greatest, you know, most relaxing kind of sound when someone with the nose congestion is talking right in your ears. So I hope you can put up with that. And hopefully next week we're just gonna be back to our nicer voice. In Colorado now. All right. So you're by Thunderhead. I think Thunderhead Studio is also around that area, if I'm not mistaken. Moved since the last time. I think, yeah. And didn't you used to live in Kyushu, or is it my brain that's melting here? But yeah, yeah, you were around when I got that pigment. Yeah. And all right, so I think we did a bit more color in these stones, and they look pretty cool already. Now let's see if we can get some more just red tones in there. And I'm gonna get my flat brushes for these very cheap Filbert brushes, and we're gonna see how much paint we can coax to go on this mini. So definitely I wanted to get more reddish than pink over here. Go. And then what the hell? Like if rose madder is down on the palette, let's try it. It is looking very similar to that Crimson Lake. It just has a more pinkish tinge to it. But you know, I felt when I tried it, I thought it was pretty useless, but it does have a very nice pigment strength to it. I just think it's maybe it's a little too similar to the Crimson to actually make it worth getting. But hey, I think every little bit helps when you're trying to get some nice color variations, right? So my goal now is to get rid of some of that more pinkish tones and or lighter tones and get them starting to get them a little darker, a little bit more red. And so we're just gonna go around the mini and do that. Uh, Kusatsui. Um, you lived in Chiba. Okay, so there might have been someone else that lived in like Fukuoka because I thought